Opioid chemicals may still be our brain's most successful feel-good messengers. It would be amazing if developments in science could show us that the very thing which used to kill us still holds the key to what could cure us of our gloom. The brain manages everything we do through messages sent between brain cells. Chemicals, made naturally by our body, keep brain messages moving properly. They work like postmen, dropping messages at the right postbox called message receptors. The receptors sit on the surface of nearby brain cells and pass messages along. A few very specific areas of the brain control mood and how we feel. Chemicals called opioids help us feel good. Sadly, for some people, if this messaging system is faulty, it results in problems with motivation, feelings, and mood. We say they are suffering from depression. For more than 200 years, opioids such as morphine were given by doctors to numb pain and make us feel better. Despite these positive effects, as technology and research improved, many negative effects of opioids were brought to light. Doctors realized that because opioid medicines make us feel so good, many people, even some patients, were getting addicted, meaning stuck in a cycle of taking more than they should. Since opioids also affect basic human functions, like breathing, this addiction could lead to death in several different ways. As a result, since the 1950s, doctors generally chose other types of chemicals to treat signs of depression. Sadly, they don't always work. Up to 40% of people taking them stay depressed. Some improve for a while, but many go back to struggling. Remember the joy you get from watching your football team win, or feeling pleased after running up a hill. People with depression often don't feel such pleasure. They struggle with feeling down, socially hopeless, and not excited about anything. Yellen and his team, mainly from King's College London, KCL, want us to fix this problem. Important organisations: the National Institute for Health Research Biomedical Research Centre, South London and Maudsley NHS Foundation, and KCL agree. They supported the team's journey to explore important discoveries made over years by studying animals and humans. They summarise much of what we do and don't know about different opioids and message receptors in the brain into a paper called A Narrative Review. The experiments showed that opioid messaging systems change or have less natural opioid chemicals when someone suffers from depression. Man-made chemical drugs can help where our bodies don't produce the right balance of natural chemicals. Drug studies are used to see how different man-made opioid blends affect separate parts of well-being, like coping with stress, or feeling sad or unmotivated. Just as recipes use different herbs and spices together to make a meal as tasty as possible. To make humans thrive, our well-being systems need a healthy mix and strength of its 3 different opioid chemicals. They work as a team to send the right messages to different types of opioid receptors. It gets complicated because when one opioid type sends a message, another might partly or fully block the receptor. To see patterns, Yellen's team grouped evidence by types of opioids and receptors. They considered what happened when different opioids, 1, started an action message, or 2, blocked a receptor from getting a message. Some opioid blends worked well together, reducing depression and lowering unpleasant reactions and addiction risks. Others, less so. Scientists study these things through mice behaviours to build theories about how humans in similar situations would react. They assume certain actions, like not swimming, mean mice are depressed. Although they can't prove this because they can't ask them how they feel, they believe their actions showed that different opioids improved or worsened depression. They can make special experimental mice by removing different opioid receptors to understand effects. They discovered different receptors affect different features of depression, like interest in food or feeling anxious. However, humans may react differently. When studying humans, we can take pictures of what happens inside brains. Laboratory results show which brain areas work when we feel excited or stressed. The pictures also help us understand how opioid medicines affect the amount of activity in certain areas. They show us that problems with, say, never-ending sadness often mean less opioid system activity or fewer opioid chemicals in brain areas known to handle emotion. The team's review showed us things we now understand and things we still don't. For example, the mu opioid seems important for keeping us relaxed and happy. Animal studies showed that, like friends, particular opioid chemicals work best together with certain others to help sadness. But we don't yet know which blends, say, most help motivation. The studies showed some unexpected effects that raised questions. We learnt that attaching chemicals to particular opioid receptors, called mu, reduces depression, but were surprised to see this happen when people were told they were being given medicine, but were actually given a pretend placebo drug. How does this mu system change its own chemicals to improve depression even when the drug isn't real? The fascinating discoveries don't stop there. Opioids also affect other systems. Studies showed they can affect systems that help memory and learning, how anxious we get when stressed, or, importantly, how we make new brain cells. Other non-opioid drugs, like a popular one called ketamine, also affect opioid receptors. This means we could possibly make other, less addictive, types of medicines that would still improve the opioid system's communication. These valuable discoveries may be able to help many people suffering with depression and more. We agree with Yelen's team. Further work is needed to make safe and helpful treatments. Studies done so far aren't perfect. They often use small groups of people or animals, or drugs may need little adjustments or more time to work better. We can surely improve existing antidepressant drugs and even create new, better ones if we understand more about what exactly different parts of the opioid system do. What do other receptors, like mu, do best? As with cooking, we should keep testing blends to work out the correct mix for the perfect recipe. For antidepressants, that means they are safe, non-addictive, and keep us happy and motivated. Let's use new technology, better pictures, and cutting-edge science to work out why ketamine and other non-opioid drugs affect the opioid system and how mysterious, powerful opioids affect other brain systems. If we unlock these secrets, we might fix untreatable depression without causing harm.